Bhagavate Vas. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, I wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Shyam Sundar Krishna Balaram Bal Gopal Gonita Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So, as part of the Sanatan Dharma sessions that we're continuing with, we talked about values on Friday. And essentially, what are these values? They distinguish us from the animals. Otherwise, what is the difference between a human and an animal if he doesn't have any values? Because the animals, they eat, sleep, mate, defend. If we humans do the same, then there is no difference. We are called Dupashu, what is it? Dupada Pashu, two-legged animal. So what are these values? Well, they're connected with the four pillars of Dharma: mercy, truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity. And we talked about how mercy involves non-violence and a vegetarian diet, and speaking nicely as well. And our thoughts also should be kind thoughts. Truthfulness is connected to gambling, and we saw some examples of where gambling can be quite lethal. Cleanliness is purity, purity of mind, very important, purity of mind. Trying to control the mind from negative thoughts, which unfortunately we usually are full of negative thoughts. I don't think there's many people who are exempt from that. Somehow it gives us comfort to think badly of others. And it's not a good place to be. So that is something that we have to try to change. And it has to be what's the word? We have to actually know that we are being negative and turn it into a positive thought. So proactive, deal with it in a proactive way. Okay, austerity, no intoxications, including caffeine, if we can avoid it. Then let's talk about culture. So values and culture. What's culture? Always be positive and steady. So Bhagavad Gita, this is the context, 2:14. Always be prayerful and worshipping the Lord. 1865 in the Bhagavad Gita is the reference for that. Because that's one of the most famous verses, Manmana Bhava. I've forgotten what it is now, but how you constantly think of the Lord, everything you do. Have a giving attitude rather than taking. So let's just take this a little bit more. What are we talking about? Positive and steady. Krishna is saying, Matra spasastu kaunteya. He's saying a devotee is steady, whether it's difficult or whether it's easy. He's steady in both situations. Just like we tolerate summer and winter, right? We tolerate summer and winter. Just like that, we also tolerate happiness and distress. And Krishna says that that person who can tolerate happiness and distress, he's steady. He's eligible for the kingdom of God, actually. So we have to somehow, in this material world, which is very hard because material world is full of negative energy, if you like, karma in itself come and bite us because we're bound to do something wrong, and it'll hit us at some point. So the natural force is negative, but the soul in its true form is very positive because it's connected to God, connected to Krishna. The connection is spiritual. And because it's spiritual and the Supreme Lord is extremely positive, the soul is also very positive. But because it's come under the influence of Maya, the three modes of material nature, this negativity takes over the soul. And this is where we have to, through intelligence, understand that actually we are positive beings, and there's in everything, even something horrible, there is a positive slant. And that is hard sometimes to understand and digest. But we have to understand, we have to have this faith that God will never let anything happen to us which is not good for us because He is our loving Father. If we have that mindset that we are under the shelter of somebody who cares for us very, very deeply, and He will not let anything happen to us which is not good for us. So if something happens to us which is perhaps seen in a negative way in this material world, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And the reason is the Lord wants us closer to Him. Yes, Naniman.
Hare Krishna. The problem is
Hare
there is so much wrong at the moment going on in the world, in the
Yes.
universe as such. And we find whether the God has moved away or what, but we try to find
Where is
answers.
He? Yeah, where is He when all
Where
this is
is
happening?
wars and people are being killed and murders and all the negative things are, and it's not only recently, it's been going on for quite some time, for years. And
5,000 years since the Mahabharata.
then what exactly, yeah, that's true, 5,000 years. So what is this? I mean, individually we can understand, but collectively hard to understand all this
It is.
culture and the
It
Krishna
is.
being there. I'm not being negative, but I'm just
I know what
have
you mean.
questions.
Correct, correct. It is quite challenging to put it into context and understand it. But this material world, no matter where we are, even if we're in heaven, where there's so much enjoyment, ultimately it will finish. And if the soul becomes too conditioned, too happy in that situation, then he will always remain here. So one of the things of this material world is that it will try to teach us to become detached. So yes, you're absolutely spot on. There's so many crazy things, and it seems to be getting worse day by day. And this is what Kali Yuga is all about, right? It just gets worse and worse and worse. And the idea is this world is not for us. So this is what the Lord is reminding us again and again, that this is not your place. This is a place which is, what does he say? Shashwatam Dukhalayam. Is Shashwatam is temporary, Dukhalayam, full of misery. So this is the material world. So there are harsh lessons, yes, no doubt about it, Danny Ben, and they're hard to digest, especially what's going on in Israel, or not in Israel, but Palestine, and is shocking. Really, it really is very, very shocking how the world is tolerating. What's going on in Ukraine, and how again, there's so much tolerance of the Russians. And you think, wow, what's actually going on? But this is the world. This is unfortunately the way we live, and we can't avoid it. We have to grin and bear it, grin and bear it. Take the positive slant is, look, I'm not going to be in this world for that long. And especially if the world is going in this direction, I want to get close to the Lord. I want to go back to where He wants us. So that's I think what is to be sort of taken from what's going on around us. I don't know if that helps, Naliman.
What I'm thinking, yes, that's good. What I'm thinking is that we have to forget about the world and think about your own self. Because these things are going on and as you said, 5,000 years. So we can't be worrying about all that, but we have to worry about us only, that we have to get out of here and try to spread that feeling into the surrounding of people, other people, the family.
Yes, yes. I think that's correct. I mean, if we have the ability to assist others, especially in remembering the Lord, that is fantastic. If we're able to assist others in the basic necessities of life and link it to the Lord, that is the best attitude. That's the best thing we can do. Yes. and we do our best effort, and if we help others, we're helping ourselves.
Mm.
And our sadhana, the chanting, if we can get that right, the Lord becomes very pleased because he knows this is a really hard age. And he's taken that into account when it comes to the bhakti that we do. He knows it's hard in this age. And that's why Mahaprabhu came and he said, okay, Harinam, 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 Kevalam, Kalo, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way in the age of Kali except chanting the holy names. So if we get that right, and at the same time we do our best to help others, well, what more can you do? What more can you do? You know,
Yeah,
that is really good. And the Lord will be very, very happy with that. Otherwise, everything is going to be left here, and what's the point of that? So hope that helps.
yeah, yes, yes, Prabhuji. Anyway, it is the age of the Kali anyway,
It's age
isn't
of
it? It's
Kali.
Kali Yuga,
Ooh, yeah.
age of the quarrel.
Age of quarrel, hypocrisy. Phew, it's tough. It is very, very hard. And yeah, I must admit, I'm at the forefront of quite a lot of this craziness going on at the moment. But what to do? What to do? You just got to grin and bear it. And
Mm.
just the only way you can console yourself is, my dear Lord, I know you won't do anything which is going to harm me. I know that. And me, I'm talking about the Atma. The body, well, the body is the body. It's temporary. But I know you care for me. You love me so much. So, and I'm trying to also, reciprocate with you as much as I possibly can, given the circumstances. So we can only do our best, and that's all we can do.
Yeah,
Thank you, Naniman.
thanks.
And so the prayer, as you said, so focusing on ourselves through prayer, worshiping the Lord, very, very important, very, very important. Who else is going to help us? The Lord is going to, of course, help, but we fly our own aeroplane, so to speak, in this world. So we got to help ourselves, definitely. And having that giving attitude rather than, see, we become unhappy in this world when we expect something from others. And the problem with expecting something from others is it will not come because our expectations are high. And people's sensitivities are not so high, they're quite low. So if we have a taking mood that we always we want love, we want resources, we'll never be happy because we'll never get satisfied. But if we have a mood of, I'm going to give, whether I get anything back in return or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to give. I'll give my love. I'll give my respect. I'll give my resources. I'll do whatever I am able to do within my means. Then you'll never be unhappy because you are always in a giving attitude. How can somebody stop you from loving them? How can somebody stop you from respecting them? So giving mood is really is a really important step in understanding how we can become happy in this world. And not happy to stay in this world, happy to go back to the spiritual world. Be respectful. Matri Deva Bhava. This is a strong part of our culture. Guru Maharaj really hammered this into us. Matri Deva Bhava, Pitri Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva, Atithi Deva Bhava. So Matri Deva Bhava means giving full respect to mother. Pitri Deva, full respect to father. Acharya Deva, full respect to teachers. Atithi Deva, to um, guests who've come unannounced specifically, but not just those, anybody and everybody, actually. Yes, Naniman.
To that four things, I add Paraspara Devo Bhavaha.
Which is
Together,
what?
Paraspara Devo Bhavaha.
And explain that.
Paraspar means everybody. Devo Bhavaha.
Everybody. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had that because I always speak this in
Yes.
morning prayer.
Acha,
But
acha.
that
Very good.
fifth one,
Very good. I
fifth
agree.
one.
Totally agree. And I include it in Atithi. I include
Yes,
it in.
Matru, Pitru, Atithi, Acharya Devo Bhavan, and Sarva Devo,
Ah,
Paraspar Devo Bhavaha.
good. I absolutely agree with that point. Absolutely agree with that point. So, and I often, especially when we are talking about the Diwali pastimes, I bring this into when we go to the schools. How to you should respect your mother and your father and your teachers. Um, it's because that was what Lord Ramachandra was all about, you know. So it's always an opportunity for us to give this little bit of information to the children, which hopefully some may take it on, or at least they've heard it at least once in their life. So, and our cultures, our mothers are so much respected. We have 7 types, 7 types of mothers. So, who are they? Natural mother, of course, the one who gives birth. Then we have the guru's Dharampatni, who is like our spiritual mother. Then we have Brahmins, wives, Dharampatnis. Then we have Mother Earth, Go Mata, very, very important. Um, we have the nurse who looks after us in the beginning and probably at the end of our life as well. And there's one more. Oh, what was it?
King's wife.
King's wife. Yeah, thank you. So Camilla, his mom. uh, yeah, the king's wife. That's very good, anyway. Well done. You know your things, huh? Very good. Impressive. So this basically, there's a very strong reason or yeah, huge reasoning behind these 7 kinds of mothers. And one day we'll go through each one in some detail because what it does, when you have this in your mind, you automatically give respect. Automatically, you are um, giving credit to those who are senior to you. And this respect is very important. Very important. If we didn't have this, you can very easily look at people in a very ordinary way. Um, but these are not ordinary personalities, these 7 kinds of mothers. Anyway, caring for parents, grandparents, that's part of the culture of Sanatan Dharma, to look after the elders, which in the West and perhaps in Bharat as well now, it's probably less important. Yes, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Does Earth Mother come or no?
Yes, in one of the mothers is Mother Earth, Hanji. Yes.
Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Could you say all the mothers again, please? Because
Oh,
I
yes,
got
yes.
mixed up. First one,
Natural mother.
natural.
And then we have the guru's wife, guru's
Yes.
king's wife,
King's wife,
Brahman's wife,
Brahman's wife,
Mother
wife,
Earth,
Mother Earth,
Gomata,
Gomata.
and the nurse.
No, so it's all together 8.
7. 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Hare
7.
Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. So caring for parents, I have to say, I feel very, very fortunate and blessed by the Lord because when my father passed away, we were there reading the Bhagavad Gita and chanting. He was in the hospital, and I would say probably not conscious, but the soul is listening. So we had a whole series of devotees there singing and reading the Gita. It was amazing. And he left. And then my father-in-law was next. he was at home, and we were expecting him to leave, and Jayanti phoned me saying he's going to go any minute. So I shot down there with a huge picture of Nrsingadev, and he was actually looking at Lord Nrsingadev when he passed away. He has his focus on Lord Nrsingadev when he passed away. So that was amazing. And there was no tears, you know. My mother-in-law was there. Her sister, I think her sister was there. Mother-in-law's sister was there. And they were, they were doing japa as well. So that was something else. And then Guru Maharaj, I was truly, he allowed me that service at the end where we were taking him to Vrindavan in the ambulance. And as soon as we reached Vrindavan, he left. And that was, so we were chanting, of course, and he was fully conscious, he left. That was incredible because he timed it just as we got to Vrindavan, It was just an amazing example. And then my mother, actually before Guru Maharaj, my mother passed away. And again, she was at home. We had the fortune of looking after her for some time. And she as well left with us chanting around her. So when you are able to give some care for the parents or grandparents, it's actually a blessing from the Lord. It's a blessing, absolute blessing. So other values, qualities to develop, humility, Krishna is so humble. He takes the position of the chariot driver, which is a very low position because the chariot driver gets kicked by the charioteer. He kicks him in which direction to go. He kicks him on the right side or on the left side, depending on where he wants to go. So it's a very low position. He's ordered all the time, do this, do that, give water through the horses, this, that, the other. Of course, Arjuna was respectful, but it's a very humble position. So if God himself is humble, would he not like somebody who's humble? So humility is a very important quality, very, very important quality, which somehow or other we have to cultivate. And of course, this world will make us humble. No matter how tall we're standing, at some point we'll be, not standing so tall. So humility will naturally come in this world because that's the nature of this world. But if we voluntarily become humble rather than we are forced to become humble, it's much more digestible and pleasurable. When we are humble, it just, again, we're not expecting anybody to respect us. If somebody glorifies us, great. If somebody doesn't glorify us, great. Doesn't matter. Because we understand our position. That is that we are servant of the Supreme Lord. No matter, everything is due to him and due to the devotees that he gives us any ability to serve. Be polite. Sometimes can be very hard, depending on the circumstances. So, but somehow we have to show this polite attitude. And people respect that politeness. Appreciate others by sincere praise. Of course, we don't want to, glorify somebody for the sake of it, or, pump somebody up and then later on give them a kick. That's really not good. But appreciation is important to understand, to show that we see the seva which is being done, and we can understand that this is really nice seva. You want to follow in your footsteps, Try to control anger. And Dehayato Visaya Pumsa, this verse is very important to understand. Try to control. And anger comes because we are unable to satisfy our senses. And this is where the taking, we're taking, but we can't get, so we get angry. So anger is something that we need to look at. And again, having this giving attitude takes away the anger. Not just it makes us happy, but it will take away the anger within us because our expectations are not so high. Always learn, improve consciousness. This is one of the things we explain to the children, is that you're learning throughout your life. It's not that you finish school and you stop learning, or you finish, you qualify as in a profession and you stop learning. Learning is so important because we have to learn how to become devotees of God, and that's a lifetime process. And failure is the pillar of success. Sometimes people think, oh man, I failed again. It's so hard. It is so hard. But these hard knocks of life are the pillar of our success. And hard knocks are very important for us. I must admit, I'm going through so many hard knocks over the last few years, and we're trying our very best to serve, with whatever resources we have, but it just get knocked. So be it, Lord's in charge, and He won't do anything which is not good for me. So this is good for me. This failure is good for me, and it will ultimately bring success. It will bring success, guaranteed. So in the service of the Lord, there's no such thing as failure. Even when you fail, you succeed. This is the beauty. Yes, Prabhavit.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think we learn from it.
We learn from the failures. Yes, I like it.
That's the way you think you didn't get success, but it's always
Yes.
you will get one day. So you learn more from it.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good feedback. So, anybody else? Anything else? Any questions? Any comments? This is a pretty much open forum. If anybody, because and this topic is like that. It's so many things that obviously I have not included, which will be important as well. Okay, let's make a stop there. Thank you so much. Sanatan Dharma ki